So we're going to solve this system of equations using the calculator. So I'm going to solve this first one by hitting y equals, and I'm going to put in x minus 2, and then go to the second y2 for the second one, which is negative 2x plus 7. And then you're going to hit graph, and you're looking for this intersection as the answer. So you go to second, calc, intersect is number 5, and you notice it says first curve. So they're going to actually ask you for the first curve. You notice up here it says y1, and that matches x minus 2. If you move the arrows side to side, it will move you along the curve. If you move it up and down, it'll take you to the second curve, which is negative 2x plus 7. So I'm just going to say enter for OK. I'm now jumped to the second curve. It says second curve. I'm going to hit enter. And when it says guess, I'm going to move my cursor close to this point. It should still work with only 2 lines. That's really more if you have more than one. So my answer here is, it's an ordered pair, is 3, 1. So it's the point 3, 1. Okay, so we're going to do this second one here just to show you what to do if you're not sure how to zoom in and out. So I'm going to put in x plus 3. And for my second curve, I'm going to put in 1.5 x. Notice I can just overwrite it, minus 2. And then I hit graph. And now in this case, my intersection is off the graph. So you say, what do I do? So you can zoom and press number 3 to zoom out. Now you notice that there's a small dot in the center. You can move that around if you want, and then hit enter. And that will zoom you out. You know you are zoomed out because these axes are thicker. So there is my intersection. So I'm going to do the same thing again, say second, calc, and number 5 says intersect. This time I may not be able to see the cursor, but I can read up here. It says x plus 3. So I say enter for the first curve. Second curve says 1.5x minus 2. So I hit enter. And guess, I can just move my cursor over there. And the intersection is 10, 13. Now, if you want to, you can zoom standard. Takes me back to this 10 by 10 window. Now you can also look and see, the x value is going way out here. And I'm going to instead go to my table. And see my table's all messed up. So I can go to second table set. Start my table at 0. And delta table stands for the change. I'm just going to put in 1. And then hit second table again. Now you see that my table now moves by 1s. I can hit the plus sign, and I can change the delta again if I want to. You can usually make it go up and down. But in this case, I'm going to go back to table set and set this to 1. Just showing you the different options. And since I looked at my graph and I saw that it was on the other side, now what you're going to look for, if it's the intersection, is that your x value has 2 of the same y values. So we already know that it's 10, 13, but I want to show you in the table, it's 10, 13, 13. So that is also the solution, which is 10, 13. All right, so I'm now given a system, and it may not be so easy to turn it into y equals. So the other method to use a calculator is to use a matrix. So there are 2 ways to do it. The first one I'm going to do by using an augmented matrix. So I'm just going to write the coefficients, and I'm going to use a vertical line for the equal sign. And then I'm going to go to second. This little X button is matrix. And I'm going to go over to edit. So the matrix is 2 rows. It's always row and column. So it's 2 rows, 1, 2. And it's by 3 columns because it's 1, 2, 3 columns. And I'm just going to enter the numbers in just as you see them, exactly in the same place. The calculator does not have the vertical line, the dotted line. And now what you want to do, if you're not familiar with this, is we're going to use reduced row echelon form. And what that's going to do is give you a matrix that looks like this. Because if you write this equation with the 2x and the y and the equal sign is 13, then this matrix here with the two answers is going to be the same as x equals whatever and y equals whatever. So that's what this is going to do for us. So you just go to second matrix and to B, which is RREF. And then you go to second x1 for matrix, and this time you just hit 1 for A, or just enter. And you get 5.5 and 6. If you want the fraction, you just hit math frac. It'll put the answer in fraction form for you. So here I'm just going to write the answer as x equals -11/2 and y equals -6. So you would just write that in ordered pair, just as you wrote the other one. So if you see this 1, 0, 0, 1, that's the same as writing x equals and y equals. Okay, the second way to do this is to actually use a square matrix. So I'm going to do 2, -4, 4, -5, and I'm going to put my x and y here, and this is 13 and 8. So what we're going to do here is we call this matrix A, and this matrix is X, and this matrix is B. So really we have AX equals B. And then we're going to invert the A matrix. And if I multiply both sides by that, so this is A inverse of B, then A inverse times A is the identity matrix. And so that's just going to give me X equals A inverse B. So this is another way to do it. So I'm going to go to matrix again. This time I'm just going to edit that matrix. I'm going to go ahead and use the A matrix. You, by the way, can also do this with a 3 by 3. You can also use reduced row echelon form for a 3 by 3 as well. So I'm going to instead make this a 2 by 2. And when I do that, it dropped off the end of this. And it still has the values in here, so I'm just going to leave that in there. And then I'm going to go back into matrix. And this time I'm going to define a B matrix, which is number 2. And this dimensions here, there are 2 rows and 1 column. So there's 2 rows, 1, 2, and then 1 column going this way. And then I'm going to enter, and I'm going to put in 13 and 8. And then this time when I go to matrix and I hit number 1, it's going to be blinking, and you're going to hit this x to the -1. That's the inverse button. And go to second matrix B. So it looks like A inverse B. And then you hit enter. And now you have your X matrix. So this XY matrix is the same dimensions as B. And just so you're clear, this is equal to each other. You can also hit math frac here. And so you get the same answer as we did above.